In Health Check, covering 150 miles in 2 days on a bicycle. Here's Barbara Moore-Silva. Barbara, this is not you, is it?
No, it is not me. Is it you?
No, it's not me.
Maybe next year it could be both of us.
Well.
What we're talking about is the MS 150. It is an annual bike ride fundraiser for the Multiple Sclerosis Society. For one local woman who's preparing to ride for a third year, it is a special tribute to her husband. Jerry Jaffa's in training, her furry four-legged friend Lucky along for the ride.
It's the lucky dog in his bike seat.
Jerry's in training for an upcoming 2-day 150-mile bike tour to help raise awareness about and money for the Multiple Sclerosis Society. Her late husband, Andy Nelson, her driving force.
He was just so inspirational to me.
Their story actually goes back to high school days.
We met when we were teenagers. He dated probably every friend I had all through high school. He went to Hendricken. I went to Pilgrim.
They reconnected along the way, first at URI. She was a nursing student, Andy studying to become a pharmacist. Then from time to time after that, until 1997.
If I had a dream about him out of nowhere and called him.
They met for dinner, and that's when she found out he had been living with MS for the last decade.
And it basically devastated him. It ravaged his body. He went from being very able-bodied to needing a wheelchair at times.
Still, he continued to work full-time as a pharmacist.
Same sense of humor, but I think having MS had mellowed him somewhat.
They married in 2002, chemotherapy and other medications allowing him to walk with the help of crutches and remain active until a fluke accident took his life 2 years later. In honor of her husband and with hopes of finding a cure, she rides a bicycle her husband gave to her, one she didn't much ride until after his death at the age of 42.
It's like being a kid again. You get out there and you just, enjoy the scenery.
And while riding her bicycle makes her feel good physically, she knows she's making a difference, coming closer to a cure for MS.
They've come up with a lot of new medications. They've come a long way. They still have a long way to go.
And she uses these words from her husband to encourage her. May your uphill climbs be few and the wind always at your back. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. And I don't think she's ever going to give up. Jerry has 30 members on her team this year. Nell's Grey Goose. They're called after her late husband and his favorite drink. The bike tour takes place the 27th and 28th of June, beginning at Narragansett High School. Money raised goes for research and to help families locally. Want to help out and pledge? You can log on to turn10.com, keyword health. And that's Health Check. Barbara Moore-Silva, NBC 10 News.
It's not easy to do the MS bike ride this year, but I've done it 3 years, not consecutively, but I have done it 3 times, Barbara. Great ride. Lots of fun. I've spoken to the organizers this year. They're heading out into Connecticut, as you know, and it's going to be a great time. So I know their fingers are crossed for nice weather because it's not fun riding 150 miles in the rain. So I wish the best for weather coming up the last weekend of June. Speaking of this weekend's weather, Father's Day weekend. Yeah, it's looking a little wet, looking a little cool for us. Unfortunately, we have clouds moving in tonight, rain developing tomorrow. A series of storms ahead. Speaking of Father's Day, summer officially arriving very early in the morning, 1:45 a.m. Sunday. Had the sunshine today for most of the day. A few clouds now. 71 the official high at Providence, 78 the average. So although cooler than average, still in the 70s, and that's a bonus for this June. 93 the record from 1957, 49 the low, and the record low, 43. Really weren't that far from it. Many of us were in the low 40s early this morning. Looking off to the west, little sun glare here, some blue sky, a lot of cirrus clouds off on the western horizon. 68 degrees with a south wind at 14 miles an hour. The humidity at 43%. Dry air in place as high pressure's off to our east, and it's going to keep the dry air over us tonight and for tomorrow morning. Then eventually that rain will tend to work in, push that dry air out, and we'll see the rain developing tomorrow by midday and into the afternoon. 64 Newport, westerly 63, again with that onshore wind. Still 71 Taunton, 73 Boston, and 68 Smithfield. So as we look at the bigger picture, we see a series of storms. This is our first one for tomorrow and into Friday. And then there's some more disturbed weather riding up over the top of this big ridge of heat. High pressure down along the south here, bringing temperatures into the low 90s as far north as St. Louis right now. We will not see that ridge of high pressure and heat build into the East Coast, as I've been saying the last couple of nights. Our forecast, unfortunately, is one of some rain. from time to time over the next several days. Thursday morning, the forecast showing high pressure moving out to the east, low pressure from the west. So showers developing over Connecticut across, say, central and eastern Connecticut by noontime, and then across Rhode Island and southeastern Mass just after noontime through the afternoon. That rain will tend to taper in its intensity Friday morning, but Friday's forecast certainly cloudy skies and the occasional rain shower or some mist and drizzle in the afternoon as this low sits off to our south. Then we see a little breakout here. So Saturday morning, there's the potential that it will stay dry, probably mostly cloudy Saturday morning, but at least dry for several hours. And then by the afternoon, this next storm system slides in. We'll see rain developing Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, and into Sunday morning. And of course, Father's Day. It looks cool for us as that storm passes to our south. Partly to mostly cloudy, that's tonight's forecast. Not as cold as it was last night, but still some upper 40s in some of the cooler spots. Taunton may get close to 49. Should be right around 50 degrees. Cloudy skies in the morning, rain developing again late morning, early afternoon, depending on where you are. Southeastern Mass, it'll take a little longer to get out here. 68 New Bedford, 68 Fall River. Woonsocket 67, Pasco westerly 67, Providence around 68. Wind on the bay will be out of the southeast, 7 to 12 knots. Low tide at Newport, 9:42 in the morning. High tide 4:31 in the afternoon. Friday, again, steady rain in the morning, then may taper to drizzle in the afternoon. Saturday's rain again, Gene, may hold off until noontime or into the afternoon. So with any luck, we'll get a dry morning Saturday, and it still looks rainy and cool on Father's Day.
You know, you and I were talking. When you go home, you go on the East Bay when you go home, right?
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
do you hit the new exit 19 the right way, or did you make a mistake?
Oh, sure. The first several. I mean, how many years were you going up into Providence and then bearing off?
Right.
Now they had that dummy proofed for a while. You had that to fall back on. Do you remember? Then eventually they closed the old. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case tomorrow, right? If you miss that exit.
Well, we're
to get
going
on the
over this
highway.
and over this. I made the mistakes myself. It's like it's ingrained.
Oh,
you go
absolutely.
certain ways. It's a tough thing.
It's
All
gonna,
right.
I think it's going to be months. It's going to be a real tough summer commuting.
We'll
going
tough
that
it
way.
out. All right, thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
A lot of damage in North Carolina yesterday. Rough weather. A storm ripped the roof right off a mobile home in Cleveland County, about an hour west of Charlotte. Trees were uprooted and power was knocked out to about 7,000 customers. There may have been a tornado. Still ahead tonight on NBC 10 News. It's a little laptop that could. Runs off a AA battery. Plus, protecting the protesters in Iran.
Here at Cerrone's, we're celebrating being part of the new General Motors by offering current GM owners and their immediate family these brand new 09 G6s. They were $21,000, but for 2 weeks only, $13,995.
Wow. I'd like to thank Newport Fed for offering totally free business checking. If it weren't for unlimited transactions, no minimum balance, free checks, I wouldn't be standing here this evening. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Newport Fed as well. Now that I have my personal eLoop checking account, I get a great interest rate and free ATMs nationwide. So thanks, Newport Fed.
eLoop and totally free business checking. 2 of our rising stars. Newport Fed. Better bank, better life.
We love you.
Heavy rain, fierce winds, changing temperatures. Southern New Englanders know extreme weather. Turn to the Storm Team with Viper Radar for forecasts you can depend on.
Here comes the storm system.
The NBC 10 team of forecasters tracking weather conditions minute by minute so you know what to expect where you are. For reliable forecasts you can plan your day around. Turn to the Storm Team. Storm Team 10 reports are brought to you by Tarbox Toyota, Hyundai, and Big Lot.
Kelly Saunders Nature Valley. The place that inspires her to go faster and slower. Elk Mountains, Colorado. Where's yours? 100% natural Nature Valley granola bars. The taste nature intended.
By the way, these 08 Impalas at 13.5 get 29 miles per gallon and factory remote start. I've been on Route 1 in South Attleboro for 33 years, but these Impalas at 13.5 will only last 2 weeks and only at Cerrone's.
Hey everyone, it's your Wednesday Buzz. A look at what's making big waves on the big web tonight. First click with a lot of information in Iran coming from Iranians twittering and posting to Facebook. Well, now the government is starting to crack down, so it's hackers to the rescue. They've actually set up an anonymous bridge account that will let Iranians post messages without fear of retribution. Check it out at turnto10.com. Second click, the smallest, most efficient laptop yet That's right. It's called Gecko EduBook. It has a 1 gigahertz processor and a 7-inch display. And get this, it runs on AA batteries. The price? Just $199. Right now, though, the EduBook is available only in Europe, but if it's a success, you can look for it right here in the U.S. as well. And your third click for a Wednesday, you've seen how the Starship Enterprise can travel faster than the speed of light. Well, now some scientists have created a model of what a ship would look like if a real warp drive was ever invented. It's not as sleek as the Enterprise, but it's an interesting look at the hypothetical technology of future space travel. Come on, log on and join the conversation. All the links at turnto10.com, the keyword buzz. I'm Dan Janik, NBC 10 News.
Well, that's it for NBC 10 News at 5:30. Coming up next at 6, a Rhode Island teenager falls victim to the swine flu, the state's first fatality. Barbara Moore-Silva is working that story.
And a major traffic pattern change is on the way for 195 westbound. What drivers need to know coming up in a live report.
How would you like to see this in the place where your children play? I'm Mario Paulo. Tonight, the city of Providence unveils a new weapon in the fight against graffiti vandalism.
Al Cerrone here. These like-new 2008 Chevy Impalas were $23,000, but now they're only $13,500. Full size and fully equipped with the balance of GM's 100,000-mile warranty. Final clearance, $13,500, 2 weeks only at Cerrone's.
My competition sells this electric fireplace for $720. That's just absurd. My hottie is only $399 in your choice of 4 finishes.
Ladies, we love our hotties, don't we? Safe for children and pets and cool to the touch. With or without heat. And they're remote controlled. Great ambience, and they look so real. No gas, no fumes, no cleaning. And you don't have to send your man up to the forest to go chop that lumber. Bob's Hotties, get them while they're hot.
Why do so many people who drive a Honda Accord buy another one? Well, when you have a reputation for quality and reliability, a proven track record for low cost of ownership, and been recognized as the longest-lasting car in its class, is it any wonder the Accord has the highest owner loyalty? Yeah, we came up with the same answer. Go to Edmunds.com for an independent report on the true cost to own an Accord. And then check out the affordable leases and low financing you'll find at your Honda dealer.
3 services, 1 company.
Digital cable, high-speed internet, and digital phone from Cox Communications.
Somehow they just kind of bundle it all together.
3 great services, 1 low price.
Phone, internet, and digital cable, all from one wire.
Add a max bundle and get $200 cash back.
You gotta love that.
With Cox Communications Bundle Maximizers, customize your own bundle.
It's great.
3 services from Cox, 1 low monthly price. Add a max bundle and get $200 cash back. Call now.
By the way, these 08 Impalas at $13,500 get 29 miles per gallon and factory remote start. I've been on Route 1 in South Attleboro for 33 years, but these Impalas at $13,500 will only last 2 weeks and only at Cerrone's.
Now, from NBC 10 News.
Now,